three things I hate in this world: warm beer, slow traffic, and safety inspectors. I've been standing in the one spot for the better part of half an hour, looking at the tuft of hair sticking out from this fat prick's nose. It's only on one side, and it looks heavy enough to pull a man over. Not him, though. It'd take a whole rugby team to knock that round cunt on his ass. I tuned out from what he was saying a while ago. Apparently the sneaky wanker had taken some photos of a few of the boys chucking some scaff up. Came in with a smug look on his face. The kind that says, "I got you, you dumb tradie bastards." He reckons we're in violation because they weren't wearing harnesses. We tried telling him that you don't need a harness when you're still on the ground, but I reckon the dipshit had too much gravy in his ears for the message to get through. I've been thinking about lunch. I'm guessing there's a cafe across the road, since Captain Safety over here would have had to park his ass somewhere to take the photos. I'm not counting on him pissing off before Smoko, though. He's still got to get around to checking all of our tools, and I've got a drill I haven't tagged properly for a good 3 years. What's more is I can see a funny-looking black fella standing at the gate trying to get my attention. He's waving his hands about and pointing at his feet. To his credit, he had the foresight to chuck on a high-vis vest and some work pants, but the dumb cunt's still wearing thongs. My mate Scotty is a lot of things, but I'd never be brave enough to say he's a smart bloke. Old mate finally started to waddle over to our kits, excited like a scout leader on a camp night. I'm gonna take a piss. I told him I took the opportunity to go and see what Scotty was on about. I don't think there's much chance Captain Safety has the energy to turn around, so I figured I'm pretty safe. I thought you were in Melbourne looking for work, I said to Scotty, pulling him away from sight. I was, and I found some, he said with a stupid smile on his face. That's why I'm here, I need your help. I remember the last time he asked for my help, and the time before that too. Whenever Scotty asked me to come on one of his jobs, things had a tendency to go sideways. Not a chance. I told him I'm still trying to forget what happened on Christmas Island. He stared blankly into space for a moment, taking in the memory of our last adventure. That place isn't nearly as much fun as it sounds, he said with a shiver. It won't be like that this time though. It's a proper homegrown vampire, I'm sure of it. What if you're wrong again? I don't want to waste another weekend off. On one of his jobs, we spent the whole 2 days digging holes around an old shearing shed looking for some solid evidence. It turned out in the end that the old lady was just murdered by one of the regular people in the town. It was some boring shit about secret adoptions and an old family treasure, not a single bloody vampire. No, I'm positive, he insisted. Body was found with no blood. Doesn't mean much. I interrupted him, but I'm right. Lots of things suck the blood out of a body. Most of them just do it after. Could be a foreign vampire or El Chupacabra, if that's the only evidence. But it doesn't make it right. Yeah, but the word is that he had a fresh deck of smokes in his pocket when he was last seen, but there were no worries on the body. He raised his eyebrows at me like he knew that it'd get me, and the prick was... It's a well-known fact, Australian vampires need only 2 things to survive: human blood and God's beautiful nectar, sweet, sweet nicotine. I don't really want to give up the weekend, but the cash from these government jobs is gonna pay for the pool the missus keeps bitching at me about. You're interested, aren't you? He said, distracting me from my inner musings. I'm gonna say things like that, so you're gonna have to get used to it. I'm a man of culture, I need you to do your best to keep up. It depends where it is, I told him. If I'm not gonna be back in time for work on Monday, I'll have to find a new job. Not that the boss would fire me, I just don't wanna deal with these drongos giving me shit about getting on it too hard on a Sunday again. I've got thick skin, but after you spend 48 hours fighting blood-sucking creatures of the undead in an effort to do your part to protect the common man, and some half-cooked cunt keeps telling the boys you're tired because your pussy got too wet on the weekend. It can take a bit of a toll. I might be a man that blasts a family of vampires away without shedding a tear, but I still have feelings. Sound near he said, a little town called Derrelby. It's half a day's drive. How much time do you reckon we get out there? I admire his ambition, but there's not much chance we find our vampire in just a day. Chuckasicki, he insisted we can go see the world on Friday morning, then head out to Whoop Whoop before the afternoon. That's a big ask from a bloke that makes his own hours. This one is worth it. He looked around suspiciously, taking in the fact that we were completely alone. He didn't need to act all sus, of course, but Scotty liked his theatrics. He pulled an envelope from his pocket and showed me the fat stack of 50s and 100s inside. That's just your half of the down payment, if you say yes that is. He wiggled his thick eyebrows at me and waved the envelope under my nose like the smell of money that passed through several hands and was probably covered in all kinds of shit would help him convince me he was right. I know it makes me a part of the problem or whatever, but I fucking love that smell. The joy of holding your firstborn child is the only thing that can nearly compare to the joy of holding cash to afford to feed that little cunt. I snatched the envelope from him and shoved it in my pocket. That was enough of a yes for him. Where are you staying then? I'm not picking you up from the train station again. I reckon that junkie bloke is just about ready to offer himself to me with a change in my ashtray. And I don't think I have the strength of character to not pull his last 3 teeth out when he does. I'll send you the address. I'm staying with the dwarf chick. She's promised to be very welcoming, he said to me with a wink. Now I know how that sounds. Scotty had a taste for a particular type of woman. That woman was a dwarf woman, the mountain kind. Every now and then, one of them would wander out of the mountains with all sorts of jewelry to sell, then decide to stay in with regular society. Doesn't mind a human dwarf either, but the beards do something for him that I'll never have the mental stamina to understand. Jazz is gone, flip a lid when I tell her, I said with a sigh, that I grabbed some wine or some shit on the way home. Tell her I said hi. Not likely, she still wants to bury you in the garden. How long is she gonna be mad about one fire? It's been 3 years, that wedding dress was in her family for 37 years, so I'm thinking it'll be a while yet. I pat him on his shoulder and started to leave. I still have a real job that needs doing, and I wanna see if I can hide my drill before the construction cop gets to it and fucks up my cable. Bazza! Scotty called to me, pack your shorts, it's gonna be hot.